As a Forex trader, you want to beware of the silly season. The silly season is a period of time towards the end of the year. It's traditionally the last 2 weeks of December and the first 2 weeks of January. Now, the silly season is when the bankers and the hedge fund guys, the really big market movers, tend to go on holiday. And from there, the volume tends to slow down. So what we're going to notice during the silly season or the slow period of time is the markets start to get choppy, they start to get flat, they start to get a little more range bound, and they do become very difficult to trade because the market just isn't moving out of these zones very well. And if they do, they tend to pop back in again. Now, with this, we get this exceptional period of laziness as far as the market goes. But occasionally, we do get these spikes of movement where the market just explodes out of these zones. They're very difficult to predict. They're very hard to capitalize on because we really don't get a heads up as far as when these happen. But we do get nonsense during this time of year. Now this year, and I notice the same thing most years, is the silly season tends to start at the beginning of December rather than 2 weeks into December. Once December starts, the market starts to slow down and it starts to get more and more difficult to trade. And once we hit the middle of December, it tends to get really dead, really flat, really quiet, very choppy, and again, just more difficult to trade. So if we're generally getting 100 pips in a market movement, during this silly season, we'd be looking more like 50 pips or so. We're not going to be seeing the bigger market moves. And we're going to get occasionally these big spikes that pop out of these ranges and then maybe right back in again. And they can play havoc with some of your trades, especially if you're letting those trades run. You're going to get a market move that goes out quite a ways, but then comes right back in again. Again, those ones are a little more difficult to trade as well. So if you can take some time off during the silly season, I'm not saying don't trade. I'm just saying that you may want to ease off a little bit. Just watch the markets if you can. If you've got other things going on, this is a great opportunity to step back from the charts and just do your business outside of Forex. Spend time with the family, spend time with the loved ones, do your shopping. Whatever the case is, it's okay to step away from the charts for the last 2 weeks of December, first 2 weeks of January. After the second week of January, the market generally does tend to pick up again, and then towards the end of January, it's business as usual. Things become normal. They become the way we're more used to it through the rest of the year. So again, the silly season, last 2 weeks of December, first 2 weeks of January. Be very careful if you're going to trade. Be very aware that the market just doesn't have what it takes to make these bigger moves. Just be careful out there.